So we are doing the Bonaire highlights and Sorobon Beach. We're just getting in line now, getting ready to leave. And as you can see, we're on the pier, about ready to head out.
Hey there, while I was editing the video, I decided I wanted to jump in and give you a little bit better explanation of the excursion we're going on and also a few tips along the way. So the first thing I want to let you know is that the excursion does meet on the pier right outside the ship. Very easy to find. There's a sign someone's holding up. We were on an air-conditioned bus. Actually, there were two buses for our excursion because of so many people. My first pro tip for that would be to sit on the left-hand side of the bus. I will tell you that the people on the right-hand side of the bus did not get the same experience that we did. On the way to the beach, definitely sit on the left because you'll be able to see the wild donkeys and the beautiful flamingos and just some of the nice artwork that there is along the ride. And on the way back, of course, from the beach back to the ship, sit on the right-hand side if you want to get a better view. Somebody gave that tip to us. It was very much needed and welcomed, and I wanted to pass that along to you. So the first stop on the excursion is going to be the salt flats, where you will be able to get off, walk around, take some pictures, and bring a baggie. So that's my pro tip number 2, bring a baggie. I did not know this. We just happened to have a plastic bag that we could use, and you're able to take some salt back with you if you prefer to do that. They do have a little stand set up, and somebody is selling bottled water and plastic baggies. I believe it was pretty cheap, but again, just bring your own if that's something you think you'll want to do. The second stop was at the slave huts. Again, you will stop, get off. You have a few minutes to walk around, explore, take some pictures, hop back on the bus. The last stop before the beach was going to be the Lighthouse. A lot of people on our bus chose not to get off at all. It was a very hot day. I think everybody was just ready to get to the beach. We did choose to get off. We snapped a few pictures and hopped right back on. Literally, we're maybe 5 minutes. The last stop, of course, is Sorobon Beach. And as you'll see in the video, it's a very crowded beach. It is open to the public, so it's not just going to be people on your excursion there. They have a beach bar there, very crowded. I will say that in the video, I think you can see there's a roped off area for Carnival guests to use. My tip would be get off the bus quickly. Like I said, our excursion, we had 2 buses. We were lucky. We were the first bus to arrive. And I say that because we were able to get a seat in the shade. The people that came on the second bus, even the people that kind of lollygagged off our bus, they definitely did not get seats in the shade. There's not a lot of them. Even though you're in the shade also, it's very stuffy in that area. I'm not really sure why there's no breeze whatsoever. So we ended up just heading on out to the beach and enjoying the water for a little while. Also wanted to give you one fun fact about Bonaire. Totally random, but I thought it was neat. There are no traffic lights on the island of Bonaire, but there are 5 roundabouts. I just thought that was kind of a neat little fun fact for you. I'm gonna go ahead and apologize too. On the ride, you will see a little speck on the camera that just keeps popping in and out of the frame. It is on the window of the bus, so there's nothing I could do about it, but I really enjoyed the footage, so hopefully you will too.
What you're seeing over here is our salt making process. This is our crystallization fields. This is one of the last parts of it. Actually, we bring in water from our southern area. It goes through about 7 condensing ponds. When it gets salty enough, they'll put it in these crystallization ponds over here. Wow. Always ask me about why is this water pink? It's a bacteria. It's the only thing that can live in that salty of water. That water is very, very salty over there. It's pretty shallow too, because that salt is being made just right underneath that. It's crystallizing. But when it's ready to harvest, and they're harvesting it down here on one of these crystallization ponds down here, and they're ready to harvest, they'll drain off whatever water's left, put it in this canal, and send it right back to the ocean. We can send it back to the ocean because we use 0 chemicals in making our salt here. So our salt comes out of here at 99.6% pure salt. If you get one of the crystals, clean it up, it's actually clear. You can see through it. So.
Oh, cool.
We'll have a chance to see a few of our crystals when we get down here to this salt pier area. And what they do is when they drain that water off, they'll bring in heavy equipment, and they'll scrape off the first 8 to 12 inches of salt. But they leave a floor of about 3 or 4 inches. They leave that floor because they don't want our salt mixing with the dirt.
Huh?
That way it stays at pure salt that way. So here, yeah, it's beautiful, and they clean those off. Looks like diamond crystals.
I can see it. Look at it shimmering.
So they'll take all that salt back behind where that green bee stacker is, give it a little rinse a little bit, get some of the impurities off of it, and they'll send it through some screens, some small, medium, large screens to separate the crystals, and they'll put them in these pyramids here. Then they'll take those hoppers there that you see, take them back there, fill those with salt, come out here, and they'll drop the salt right on a conveyor belt. That conveyor belt goes right over, and they'll dump the salt directly into a ship.
Oh, wow. Taste it.
That's good.
I'll taste it. So I'm not sure if you could hear it in the video, but they take the salt once it's ready and they put it on this long conveyor belt, and it goes right out here, and then it drops off that conveyor belt basically right onto the ships.
So back in the 16, 17, 1800s, when the Dutch was using this island to make salt, those marked where the original salt pans were. So they did use slave labor during that time to produce the salt. So when a ship would come in and needed their salt, they would just go to that building that you saw back there by where you got the salt. That's been there for a long time too. They go there and they say, all right, where's the salt ready? And they tell them your salt is ready down at the south, or at the red.
Okay, so these are the slave huts. So from what I understand, if you see that obelisk in the distance right there, that's orange. So there's different ones along this road, different colors. And what would happen is they would tell them, you know, where are they harvesting salt that day or that week. They would drop the slaves off at that color obelisk where the ships are. And then they would actually, they wouldn't live in these huts, but they would sleep in them. So they would come down here for the week, and apparently it was about a 7-hour walk from where they lived to get down here, and they would stay here all week and they would work the salt mines, and then they would walk home at the end of the week to go back to their families. So to give you an idea how big these huts are, Chad is 6 foot tall. So the door is very small, but when asked if they wanted one large building or the smaller buildings, they actually wanted the smaller buildings because they thought they'd have a little bit more privacy.
Also,
Wow, how hard is it to get in there?
well, the door is offset from the windows so that way the air circulates in here.
Wow.
So that way it didn't just go straight out, and you can actually feel it.
Really?
Sitting in here.
There's
the
a
way
breeze
it's
in
turning.
there?
Yeah.
That's good to
The
know.
way it's turning. It's actually cooler in here than out there.
The Bonaire sun is pretty brutal. We learned a little bit about the flamingos too, where the flamingos, when they nest, both the male and the female sit on the egg, but not to keep it hot or warm, but to keep it cool, because obviously with the sun beating down on it, it would be too hot for it to live. So on one side we have the beautiful ocean, and on the other side we have the salt flats. All right, we got this lighthouse. They built this lighthouse because apparently ships were having a hard time seeing Bonaire. And this right here is going to be the innkeeper's house for the lighthouse. All right, so what do you think of the excursion?
It's been great so far, and this water is absolutely beautiful.
Crystal clear.
Yes.
So right there where you can see the water's darker probably, and right over there the water's a little bit darker. We can't go into that area, it's protected.
Seagrass restoration, it says on it.
Seagrass restoration. So yeah.
There are a lot of little fish.
There's absolutely no wind today, so because we always heard that Bonaire was super windy, so the kite surfing is huge. And of course we picked the day where there's no wind. So he says normally there's like hundreds of kite surfers out here, but we get to see none today. So.
And you can walk all the way out to the break, all the way out there, and it still only stays no deeper than waist deep.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, it's a pretty good ways out there. Like, I mean, I
Probably
can't.
At least 200 yards.
At least, probably, I'd say it's more than 200 yards to get all the way out to where it breaks, but it's still supposed to only be like waist deep.
Lots of little bitty fish. I even saw some baby barracuda.
Yeah. I will say I don't particularly love the area that we're sitting in for the beach. I'll put that video here in a second. It's a little crowded and congested for me, so I prefer Aruba, how we had yesterday, really open area. But so far I like this excursion. So
absolutely, it's been a lot of fun.
Okay, so if you're not here on the cruise ship, these are the rules. It's $10 per person at the shack for your beach chair. But of course, being we are on the cruise ship, we were told that we need to find this yellow rope, and the chairs beyond the yellow rope are our chairs. So as you can see, it's not a very large area. It's quite crowded. There's really no breeze back here either, so